We are back on the air.
Yes.
And I don't know what the deal is, but the deal is not, and we seem not to be frozen.
No.
Well, at least not on the camera. Oh, dear, Julia.
Yes.
That's cretonicism. But here we are. We're back, and we've got up in Harbor Springs. Let's see if I can move some slides along here for Peter. I'll let people join us here. They'll take a few minutes to join us, Julia.
My program screen too.
Yeah, I'll get you on so you can see what's going on. But let's let people get clued in here.
Right.
Harbor Springs is nice, isn't it?
It's nice when it's 25 and very gray right now. Outside and on the lake right now, I think it's in the 40s in terms of wind speed. So
it's that windy.
Yeah. The boys delivered the boat down yesterday in a 29 northerly. So they were straight in the wind for 8 hours, but they didn't want to leave any
it was
later.
Downhill though from Mackinac.
Correct, but they were straight head to wind, into the wind. So
they're coming from Mackinac. They were into the wind. It was a northerly.
Yeah, northerly. Oh, sorry, I said southerly. Yeah, it's my mistake. And then the breeze shifted 180 yesterday. We had storms last night, and now it's blowing 40. Southerly. So
it'll be a wild ride.
It's gonna. Yeah, it looks like this week we should have a kind of similar situation to the Super Series. I think we might be sailing around just as much breeze as they have been in Lanzarote.
So Ed Worley says, are we back? I think we are. I hope we are. John Emmett says, no such thing as bad weather, just poor choices of clothes. Indeed. Okay, well, we'll let people filter in here for another couple minutes. I don't see any Facebook people on here. It'll take some time. I apologize. I don't know why. We've never had that happen, Julia.
Never.
10 years where the thing just froze up and went down. I guess it's time for a new computer. Mac Studio may be getting tired, Julia.
Well, it could be because unless we have that latest.
Well, we're pretty good. Peter broke the internet saying John's on and he's on Facebook. Audio and video not synced. Is that right? We're back.
Are we not?
Yeah, I think the audio and video are synced. Or pretty close. You're back. Okay, we're back. I don't know what happened, but we're going to carry on here. And hopefully we will.
My brother just texted me. You can see it on Facebook, but not on YouTube.
Well, there's people on YouTube, Ed Worley and.
Okay.
So I think we're back. I'll just give people a couple. Yeah, Ed Vitrano in Detroit is saying on Facebook, no YouTube. Well, there's people on YouTube, so it'll take some time to filter down. And apologize. I apologize to everybody for that. We just showed that video from the Channel 7 in Detroit, and I think what we'll do, I think we will now play, or show you a map of what the course, and have Peter describe the two courses. The yellow line up the middle is the border between Canada and the USA. And then it's hard to see it, but there's a blue course going off to the right that goes into Canada. And then there's the red course up the shore. Peter, you want to explain those?
Yeah. So the yellow course is the standard, I guess, racing course. The racing boats competed in, and then the red being the shorter cruising course. I can't remember the actual course name. It's escaping me right now. But the red course was the traditional.
Yeah, the long time Bayview-Mac course. Yeah. That's exactly right. And then there's the border, which is the yellow line here between Canada and the U.S. So the boats actually go into Canada, and here is the Cove Island buoy. It's not a buoy, is it? What is it?
It's a digital mark that we round.
It's a virtual mark that you round. And that's for the race boats do. They go on this blue leg. I don't know how well you can see it on this slide, but that is the race boat course, and the cruising boats go up the red course, and that slide courtesy of Scuttlebutt. And then here's some info, some reports from that race. And it would tell us, Peter, after I read this article about just how rough and tumble it was, this is an article from MLive, which is a collection of newspapers in Michigan. Broken masts, torn sails, nearly half of Bayview-Mackinac race boats drop out after squalls. And I don't know how many pictures people sent me, but this was one.
Yeah.
And
it's the Swiftsure.
That's Swiftsure, exactly right. After an incredibly rough start to the Bayview-Mac sailing course on Saturday, race officials today confirmed nearly half of the fleet has dropped out. Of the 193 boats that started the race yesterday in southern Lake Huron, 85 had pulled out of the race by today, officials said on Sunday morning. And how bad was it?
Well, we started in we started around 18 knots of breeze, and then knew pretty quickly that this front was coming down the lake, and we were going to see it build. We just hit the dog. Build into more and more pressure, with the forecast being that we would be in around the low 30s for 6 to 8 hour period.
What was the top? Build happened, what did you see top wind speed?
I think we had this discussion last night. I think we on the Heartbreaker saw 32 knots, but I talked with some other boats in the GL70 group who are just a tick behind the 52s, and they said they saw gusts into 38.
Tell us about, before we leave, well, we can talk about it when we get to the Harbor Springs, but where you are now, but the GL 52s, a collection of boats that were TP 52s or Pack Cup 52s, which have migrated to the lakes at probably a nice reduced cost for people who've taken the boats on. But also there's a good fleet of 68s and 70s there, what we used to call sleds here on the West Coast.
Yeah, I believe there were 8 70s that participated in the race, and they've had a good participation rate between the two MAC races with the freshwater 70s.
Freshwater 70s. Now, you've grown up on a sled. Your dad has for years had Andrews, 68? Well, were both those boats Andrews 68s, the current one on the prior?
The OEX was a Santa Cruz 70, and the Rock and Roll was a Andrews 68.
That's the current boat. I just want to thank Phoebe Wall Howard for that photo that she passed on to us, or I stole it off her website, truth be told. But then you guys had this, on Heartbreaker, had this fabulous match race up Lake Huron and right into the finish line against your arch rival, I guess, Natalie J. And both of you were pushed to the limit. And these guys on Natalie J were very gracious. I read a lot of quotes from them. The race began on this past Saturday, with teams having to navigate thick wildfire smoke, as we told you, that is blown down from Canada, and following the start, conditions only continued to deteriorate. Throughout Saturday and into the early morning hours of Sunday, racers battled through multiple squalls with consistent breeze of 30 plus. You'd agree with that, Peter? And knots of 30 plus knots, and some teams, nice to see knots, Julia.
Yes.
Nice to see knots and not miles per hour or kilometers per hour.
Yes.
What a sport. What a sport. Of 30 knots, and some reporting gusts of over 40. Okay, that's not that bad. Of the 193 boats that started, the problem is there are a lot of family crews and people who just aren't prepared for that much breeze. Of the 193 boats that started the race, only 105 made it to the finish. Unfortunately, our very own Mockingbird, fresh off their Chicago Mac win, was forced to retire following an equipment failure. This is also from a website. Luckily, there were no serious injuries reported, and all racers have made it safely to land. Everybody okay on your boat, Peter?
Yeah, I think it was really it wasn't the breeze that was hard on the boats. We had this, 8 foot, these 8 foot like standing waves, about a 5 second period that was pretty jarring.
Because it was a northerly, right? So you're going uphill against the seaway and the wind.
Yeah.
At the start, anyway. Well, this, as I said, was your arch rival. Here is your boat. Here's Heartbreaker, I guess, early in the race. And you had a virtual, as I understand it, well, as it says here, a full-on no holds barred drag race, really a match race up Lake Huron between Natalie J and Heartbreaker. It was Phil and Sharon O'Neill's mighty Natalie J that emerged victorious. Natalie J won both their division, Class A, as well as the overall trophy. Aside from impressive speed, Phil O'Neill, that's spelled wrong? Whatever. That's not my doing. Emphasize the tenacity of the entire fleet, showcase saying, with 85 boats dropping out of the race, the 52s showed how rugged the boats are and how competent our crews really are. Mm-hmm. It took great seamanship to finish this race. With this victory, Phil and his team capped off an impressive offshore season. Oh, they won the Queen's Cup, finished second in their division and third overall at this year's Chicago Mac. Now, your dad sent me these off the Yellow Brick tracker, I think this was early in the race or middle of the race, maybe Saturday night.
It's about the middle of the race.
Saturday
night. When we were real close to them.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we beat up the lake northbound towards the digital mark. In that big breeze that we discussed earlier, and we had come off of we were to leeward of the Mockingbird and the Natalie J, and had to tack up into more pressure to get to those two boats, and then we just had to just grind away at the Natalie J for around was through the night, so it was 9 hours. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, the Mockingbird's mainsail unzipped out of their mast, and they had to retire. So it actually could have been a very close 3-boat battle. We were really close to one another before the Mockingbird suffered their failure.
Yeah, when your dad sent me this tracker. This is obviously it's a screen grab from the tracker, nearly side by side. And he sent it to a number of us. The last 8 hours, less than 200 yards. We'll get your dad to use meters sooner or later. 200 yards apart throughout the night, and then he sent this one as you all are having a tacking duel into the finish line. All those gray boats are Chicago to Mac boats that are still there, I guess, or have left maybe by then, but that's residual.
I think it's just all from the Yellow Brick.
And then the two of you are coming in. Which one is you?
We're the yellow on the top of the screen.
So how much did they beat you by?
They beat us on the water by 3 minutes.
3 minutes. So was it fun? It must have been a hell of a lot of fun. Disappointing to be sure, but what a great race.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see. We rounded close to them at the digital mark, and we're running with zeros, pushing towards the west. And right as we got into the straits at the top of Michigan, where the two lakes connect, the breeze completely shut down, and we ended up on either sides of the strait, floating around in absolutely no breeze.
Oh yeah,
actually getting pressed back by the current. We had at one point discussed kedging because there was no wind.
Okay, now tell everybody, most everybody on here will know, but if there's people who are uninitiated, tell them what kedging is.
Where you put an anchor out so you don't drift back down the course that we had just come.
You don't go backwards.
Yeah, it was a hard hour and a half of just figuring out where the breeze was going to come from next.
Now, did you see these gray boats that I thought were Chicago Mac boats still up there partying? I'm corrected here.
Yeah, I think those are it's just leftover tracks from on the yellow brick.
Well, here's what Clark Chapin says. No, those are retired boats who were returning their trackers to Race HQ on the island. Justin Palm, who's from Detroit and from Michigan, he says, and he now lives in SoCal. He says gray boats are trackers from retired boats that made their way up I-75. So it sounds like people I-75.
That would make a lot of sense.
North-south interstate that runs from Florida all the way up to northern Michigan.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
So they retired down in the Detroit or Port Huron area, and then they get in their cars and drive up for the party. Is that right?
We did get beat. Well, we did get beat there by a lot of teams that unfortunately didn't finish the race.
Okay, well, that's interesting. That's thank you, Justin and Clark. I'm going to play a video now of the winner. Since we got to salute, we are happy to salute the winner and the owner of the boat. This is fun because it again highlights what's so great about our sport, our beloved sport, and the family affair. He's got all his grandkids there. What time did you finish, Peter?
I mean,
it was
11:30,
right?
11:30 or something.
Oh, it was 11:30 at night?
Yeah.
Okay, so 23:30. But have a look at this video because he's there and his grandkids are on the shore cheering and yada yada.
Yeah, the whole first leg you were going upwind in some decent breeze, and then it's gradually got worse and worse as time went on, meaning it just got heavier air and heavier air. And the worst part of that is you're going into the wind and you're going into the waves, and the waves got very big, and so we had 30 knot winds, and we're trying to go upwind in that breeze, and that's always difficult, and you have to have the right sails that can survive all of that, and a crew that can handle that, and we had it in spades. So. Bayview is the sailors' yacht club in the Great Lakes. It's people that are there are hardcore sailors. We're the ones that will finish a race like this and not drop out, whatever it takes to do. And I'm very proud to be a member of Bayview Yacht Club. I'm gonna go hug all my grandkids. Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
Yes.
And I'm hearing from Justin Palm that he saw you, Peter, after the race. He was on the Santa Cruz 70 Dynamis, I guess.
Dynamis, I believe is how it's pronounced. Yes, I did run into Justin. It was nice to see him.
Adam Ostenfelds, who I did a America's Cup campaign with, won Adam 12. He was called Adam 12. He is a fabulous sailor. Last I knew, living in Spain, and he was with us in the America 2 campaign back in the late 80s. He's saying, great race, Transpac Hawaii best, never forget our time there. So I don't know if he's talking about the Transpac or if he's talking about one of the Macs, but this guy is a superb sailor, Adam Ostenfeld. Nice to see him in the comments. Peter, I have the photo of your team. I guess that's you right in the middle, isn't it?
Yep.
So tell us about your team, your owner, and the disappointment of being just a few minutes, 3 minutes you said behind?
Yeah, we finished almost exactly 3 minutes, I believe, behind the Natalie J. And hats off to them. They sailed really well. They've done a lot of small things to make their boat go really well now. So again, making the fleet real strong up here. Well, so I guess
go ahead.
Yeah. Oh no. all good.
Well, it gives you something, I guess, this weekend. We'll talk about what's going on there in Harbor Springs, but no doubt this is your arch rival now for this Ugata Regatta that's coming up.
Well, they're in the list, but coming back for the GL group for the Ugata is we have all the top teams at this event now. So we have the Wizard Peter Askew's team. We have the Katana John Hunn's team. The Natalie Jace here. Let's see out the window. We're here with the Heartbreaker, and Doug DeVos's WinQuest is here. So super top end.
And a lot of fun
teams.
That's a fun.
Yeah.
Natalie J. Clark Chapin says Natalie J. finished at 22:13:28.
Yep.
And you were 22:16:31. So 3 minutes, 3 seconds. If my math is
a
right.
real heartbreaker.
A real. Oh, you've been waiting. You've been waiting to get that in, haven't you, Julia?
There you go.
I think we'll give her a finger wag. Where's my finger, Julia? Greg Normand, who is a Michigan man and it has that Great Lakes Sailing YouTube channel, excellent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's in the chat saying the GL52s are the best fleet in North America. Would you agree with that, Peter?
I would agree. I mean, top in terms of top end,
big boats, top
big
end.
boat owner driver, big boat sailing. It's the best in the U.S. and the class has done a very good job of working with their owners, and we have an owner driver policy, no pro drivers inshore, and it's really cool.
So in the Mackinac race, which is overnight and times 2 usually, what's the rule on owner driver? When can somebody else drive, and if it's not the owner, who can drive?
The owner driver rules don't. I believe it's the owner has to start the race driving, but then in the offshore races, it's anyone can drive. So, okay. But in the inshore events, it has to be the owner driver.
He's freezing up here. There you are.
Yes.
You're back.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, now you're good now. Speaking of Clark Chapin, he was chair, as I mentioned at the top of the show, chair of the Bayview-Mac jury. Of course, Clark, a co-founder of this show and Sailing Illustrated, and a Michigan man from my home club in Michigan. We had him on the show, Julie, when I was there, right?
Right.
I knew that.
You were there.
I was there. I'm not that old. I am old, but he chaired the Bayview-Mac jury. And that, of course, Clark Chapin, who is our Sailing Illustrated race management and rules guru. And he texted me this morning to say, by the way, we have one request for redress pending, but it's for a boat that finished 10th in their class, and full redress will only move them up to 9th. So it wasn't a big issue. But apropos boats and sailors taking care of other sailors, they spent over 4 hours assisting a boat that lost its rudder. And, redress is great, but it takes you out of the whole mix. And bravo Zulu to anybody and everybody who
does that.
Harbor Springs, it's a beautiful part of the world. We in Michigan, growing up in Michigan, it was, Petoskey, Harbor Springs, Traverse City. We all thought it was a garden spot, and there's skiing up there in the winter, and there's boating and sailing. Our little club in Michigan, as Clark will tell you, when we were hosting a big national championship in one of the classes that we raced on our little lake, our lake's too small to run 50, 60, 70 boats. So we would go up, take the race committee boat on a trailer and a whole bunch of volunteers, and go up in that corner of the world, Glen Lake, one of those lakes, and run our national championships remotely. And it was terrific. But it is a beautiful part of the world. It's there to the left. Peter is there now in Harbor Springs. Just below that is Petoskey. Lake Charlevoix over here is fabulous. And Boyne City is a big ski area. And then Mackinac up here, Mackinac Island, that little island in front of Bois Blanc Island, is the destination for the both Mac races from Chicago and from Detroit or from Port Huron.
Mm.
What do you think of that part of the world, Peter?
Oh, Harbor Springs is one of the coolest places I've been in the U.S. I think it's really pretty up here, and the sailing's been really good. And quite a bit of, well, all of it in the summer. So this is a very, very nice place to be.
Greg Norman is asking you to tell Peter to say hi to Bob and Laura. You know who that is, Bob and Laura, and hopefully we can catch up with Peter this weekend.
Oh, good.
He's saying, Greg Norman, Great Lakes sailor. He's also saying 5 individuals raced in the America's Cup from a town of 1,200, meaning Harbor Springs.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's pretty cool. Okay, so this weekend you're sailing in the Ugata Regatta, which is a high-end, lot of fun. Everybody who's anybody in the Great Lakes, particularly in Michigan and Chicago, they hang out after the Chicago Mac and the Port Huron Mac, because those races alternate. This year, Chicago Mac was first, then the Port Huron Mac, and then next year it'll be the opposite. And then the top boats, a lot of boats end up at the Ugata Regatta in Harbor Springs, hosted by Little Travers Yacht Club. And this, believe it or not, is the 65th annual regatta.
That's
Peter.
amazing.
Been going on for quite some time.
Yeah.
What is your racing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I guess?
So our format is with the GL52 class. We are sailing Thursday, Friday, and in inshore Super Series style inshore racing out here in the harbor, and then excuse me. And then Saturday, Sunday is point-to-point windward lewards, depending on the weather, on what we get. They can send us on more of a random leg style course, and that we'll be racing against the 70s and fast 40s and other boats that are here. So I believe total for the Saturday, Sunday for our fleet, we'll have I believe 9 boats. The Thursday, Friday inshore racing will have just the 5 inshore 52s.
So you're actually racing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The 52s
yes.
Are the 70s also racing 4 days?
No, the 70s are only racing the weekend.
Okay, well,
I believe.
I've never sailed in it. I've heard a lot about it, so I'm glad we're actually able to cover it a little bit here today. And Peter, I know you've got to get going, and thank you for taking the time to come talk to us and update us on. There's Morgan Pinckney in the chat. Sup, Peter? Sup. Morgan, we were talking about you at the top of the show and how you're one of the favorites for the Gov Cup this coming week, starting this coming Monday night, and also how you and the big Peter Sangmeister won the Rose Cup in what year? Was that 4 years ago?
Yes, in 2022.
2022, and the Rose Cup, of course, being the National U.S. Match Racing Championship, Junior Youth Match Racing Championship, named after Andy Rose, but he always says...
But I didn't name it.
I didn't name the trophy. Justin Palm, who's up there on the 70, says the 70s are racing Saturday and Sunday only, and they're doing tour of the bay courses. So they're doing not sausages. They're not they're doing navigational government aids and so on, buoy racing, I suppose. I've got one more slide and then we'll let you go. And this is the slide I wanted to run for today's today's promotional race.
Oh, that's a man after my heart.
So sunburnt.
And I just to be fair, Julia, I asked Peter yesterday afternoon, his evening, last minute, hey, why don't you come on? I think I never decide what the lead story, Peter, is going to be until 5, 6 o'clock at night our time. Sometimes a little earlier if it's obvious. Like this Friday, we'll talk about not TP52. I will talk about TP52s, but we'll preview the big race in the UK.
Yeah.
You know what that is, Julia?
Mm-mm.
Your favorite. Your Spanish team races in the circuit.
Oh.
Sail GP.
Oh, Sales GP.
So we'll probably preview that, and we'll do a couple others. So there's Heidi Blair saying LOL. I don't know what that means. Jimmy B incarnated. I don't know who Jimmy. There's a lot of inside jokes going on here, but maybe they're Jimmy Buffett incarnated. Heidi's laughing at that picture. So back on this story. Okay, now I get it. This is at the end, obviously, of a Transpac race, right?
Yeah.
I believe that was 2021.
How many Transpac? You're how old?
I'm 24.
How many Transpacs have you done?
Finished 3, started 4.
Oh yeah, and had a little dropout in the middle.
Well, not even in the middle, early on. So Julia, I sent this to Peter because I found that online. I like the picture. He's facing to the inside of the shot toward the boat. He's looking celebratory. And he said, no, you can't use it. And then I asked him during the tech check, didn't I, Peter? I said, is that because there's alcohol in that pina colada? And you said
there wasn't any alcohol.
There wasn't. It was pineapple juice.
Okay. I believe him,
Well, my mom gave me it, so we can roll with that one.
And John Sangmeister doesn't drink.
No.
So, it's not a big thing for a lot of people. And by the way, it's a great picture.
It is.
And I'm glad Heidi liked it. And Yarvahe, Jimmy B incarnated. I get Jimmy Buffett reincarnated. Thank you, sir. We really appreciate your coming on.
Yes.
And filling us in.
Yeah, thank you.
You've been on the show once before? Didn't we have you on
once or twice?
Talking about fins or something?
Fin Worlds.
Fin Worlds. Great stuff. Peter, have a great weekend up there in God's country in Harbor Springs, and we'll look forward to it. Are you going to be at the Gov Cup at all? Will you be back here in time to come down and see us at Gov Cup?
Yeah, I'm back on Monday, so I'll have to jet down. Okay. Come say hi to everybody.
Bring Heidi, please.
Yes. And
yes.
Was that a toughie? I mean, that was a little.
No.
Heidi. Thank you. Thank you, Peter.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good luck this
looking forward to this week, and want to thank the Hugheses who I'm sailing with, and it's going to be a blast of a week. Hopefully maybe we'll get some good video for you for Friday, Tom. I think Thursday is going to be pretty wet and wild here. Potentially, we're looking at a forecast of 25. I think
you notice how little video there was of the Mac race because it was so windy and rough, at least early on. So, okay, have a great weekend. We'll see you at Gov Cup this coming week.
Yeah, I'll see you in Newport.
Thank you.
Great. Bye.
All right. Thank you. You too.
You see how West Coasters say Newport? Everybody from the rest of the country says Newport Beach to distinguish from Newport, Rhode Island.
Right.
Peter Sangmeister, live from Harbor Springs in Michigan. Sorry for we had a bit of a technical problem there, but it seems to be working very nicely now, and that means we can get to John Emmett's Coaching Corner, Super FOSI John Emmett, with his report from, I believe, Weymouth.
Hi, Tom, Julia, and all the FOSI. So I'm here on sunny Weymouth Beach, trying not to get attacked by dogs, seagulls, or fall down any holes. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about the future of the sport, because I think we're all in this together. Now, on a sailing club level, you're going to be looking after your youth sailors. At Castle Cove, we call them the cadets. But the fact is, we've introduced people to sailing, but maybe those people won't stay in the local area. They move away with jobs, they move away for education. They maybe move away because they've got new partners. But if we've introduced them to sailing, then hopefully they're going to stay members of sailing clubs which are local to where they end up living. Hopefully they're going to introduce their children to sailing. And hopefully other people who grew up sailing at different areas of the country will also relocate to where you are and bolster your fleet. So we shouldn't only be thinking as a club, a class, an M&A, what we can do, which is good for us, and then what is good for us in 5 years' time. We think about what is good for the sport. And that's why I'm so keen just to encourage everyone to go sailing. because sailing really is a sport for life. And probably the gold dust is those sailing families which are not currently sailing families. So if you introduce people to the sport and they stay with the sport, you're probably going to get the next generation as well. And sailing is a time-dependent sport and it's an equipment-dependent sport. So there are barriers, but we as sailing clubs or individuals need to do everything we can to remove those barriers. And in terms of the cost of ownership and so on, volunteering is a very big part. In other words, volunteer clubs can really keep the costs down for membership. And actually, it can be a lot of fun to volunteer and get to know other people at your club. And it's just about using whatever skills you have. So I quite like a little drink. So maybe, it's good for me to be helping behind the bar. Some people enjoy driving powerboats. Perhaps they can provide the rescue cover. Other people like the responsibility of running the race team. There's lots of little jobs to do. But the important thing is to think big picture. So it's not about, looking after young sailors now because you think they're going to be members of your club for life. It's about looking after young sailors so that they stay in the sport for life. And one of the big things is it's not only what you do, but how you publicise it. So get out there, social media, and just show all the good things that your club does.
Nice report from John.
He's been doing that in championing volunteers.
Yeah, he does, and we do on here, but John does a particularly good job.
He does.
Apropos all of that, and John, I hope he's still on. We didn't lose him in that. I know he was back on, but apropos all of that, I had a long talk with Claire, with Commodore Harrington the other day, and we were comparing notes about St. Francis, Balboa, and New York. And for whatever reason, those three clubs in particular, there's churn. There's always attrition. You have people that move, people that for whatever die, for whatever reason go away. But St. Francis and New York and Balboa have managed to keep picking up new members for some reason. Whereas a lot of other clubs, my little home club in Michigan, there's the Burgee above you now. It is, all folks my age and older even, and very few new young people coming into the club and into racing. So we're going to have some kind of a seminar, a forum, a Zoom group on here for one of these shows after I get through Governor's Cup. And we'll get John and Claire and somebody, Kimball Livingston, for example, somebody from St. Francis, about what works and what doesn't and
Boys
why.
and girls.
Well, that's what by the way, Paul Henderson called yesterday
just
to say hi, and he's 90, whatever he is, still playing handball every other day.
Oh, I'm proud of him.
His wife Mary's 90-ish, and she sounded great on the phone. He just called to check in and see how everybody was. But that's what he's always said, that at the Royal Canadian Yacht Club, they took care to be sure there were young boys and girls there in the club socially, because the girls attracted the boys and vice versa.
Right.
I guess.
It's true.
Is that true, Julia?
Absolutely.
You would know about that.
I never did junior sailing.
I know, but you did senior sailing.
I did.
Julia, that's John Emmett's report. John Emmett Sailing, get to the front of the fleet. And a reminder to all of us that we're pushing to get sailing back in the Paralympics for 2032, whether as a demonstration event or bigger picture long-term as a regular event in the Paralympics.
Have we heard anything more about that?
No, John's keeping us posted. He's very close to World Sailing about that, as is Andrew Pindar, and I hope we have an update soon from the gang on all of that, the gang at World Sailing. But the Aussies are pushing hard too. Bravo Zulu to them.
Great.
Okay, I've got a new segment, Julia.
Oh.
Just for you. The world traveler that you are. This segment is called...
Where are we?
That's almost. It's called Name That Harbor. And we'll see who we're going to do this because we got all these famously cool places and harbors, and we'll probably get a little more obscure than this one. This one is, should be fairly obvious to a lot of people. Here's the zoom to help it. And I'll give you a clue. That is called Goat Island.
Aha.
And Leslie and my late great wife and I used to live on Goat Island.
Yes.
You want another clue?
I know what that is.
You do?
Yeah. Harbor Court.
Well, that's over here.
Yeah.
Harbor Court is over here, right there.
Right.
And next door to it is Ida Lewis Yacht Club.
Mm-hmm.
So that harbor it's not Amsterdam, Alex Kent is saying. John Emmett back on he says that it won't be announced until after the Olympic announcement for beyond 2032.
Okay.
So, Newport, Rhode Island. Alex Kent, well done. That is Newport. We call it, among sailors, we call it 02840 because that's the zip code. Are you going to be in 02840 this weekend?
Really?
Yeah, we used to. I'm not sure they still do that, but that is the beloved Newport, Rhode Island, and it still is about my favorite place in the world. Okay, the weather in the winter's not so great, and you're not sailing year-round, but that's why you go to Florida, or that's why you go to SoCal, or Mexico, wherever. But look at the boats in that harbor.
Yes.
And what a fabulous shot. Now, that was taken from a plane. Can you imagine by whom, Julia?
Yes.
One of our super FOSI who's a pilot.
Yes.
By Claire Harrington. Thank you, Commodore Harrington. And we're going to run that as a regular segment now. What harbor, and when I'll give you, if it's in a Commonwealth country, we'll spell it HARBOUR.
Okay.
Whereas Newport, Rhode Island. Julia, this day in history, speaking of the Commonwealth, what happened on this day in history, the 21st of July, 1960?
Mm-hmm.
You want a clue?
Mm-hmm.
There's your clue. That looks remarkably like past Commodore Dyer Jones of the New York Yacht Club, who was the race committee chair for the '83 Cup in Newport when the Aussies won.
Mm-hmm. Who
is that, and what happened vis-a-vis him on this day in history? They're still back on Newport, Rhode Island, while people are figuring that out. Chichester, Yarvahe is pointing that out, but what did he do? Sir Francis Chichester, yes. As Bob Steele says, Captain Cook's Endeavor was scuttled there, yes, right outside Goat Island. That seems to be the case. And Blake Middleton remembers working on Goat Island at USYRU when I was the executive director there. So what happened on this date? 1960.
Well, he sailed by himself someplace.
Well done, Julia. Keep at it. He was born in 1901 and then passed away in 1972. Chris Ferry saying he sailed solo around the world. No, that was later. That was 66, 67, I think.
Yeah.
Sir Francis was a British businessman, pioneering aviator. He flew by himself nonstop, I think, to Australia. Was the first to do that from the UK. He was knighted by QE2 by Her Majesty for becoming the first person to sail single-handed around the world by the Clipper route and the route and the fastest circumnavigator in 9 months and 1 day overall in 66, 67. But Julia, what happened in 1960 with this gentleman before he did the circumnavigation? Sailing his Gypsy Moth 2, he crossed the Atlantic and arrived in New York, setting a record 40 days for a solo Atlantic crossing. This day in history, the 21st of July, 1960. Yarvahe says, I give up. It's a little obscure. Yeah. I agree, but I thought you all would like this.
Yep.
And apropos his circumnavigation, he started out in Plymouth and went via the three, he's going left to right, via the three great capes, Cape of Good Hope, Cape Lewin, and the southwestern quarter of Australia, which is, we had a good friend that was just there. He's been on this show, Orley.
Oh, Orley.
Yes, the wine expert. And then Cape Horn, obviously down at the tip of South America, and then back up to Plymouth in 226 days, if I can read that graphic.
That's a nice journey.
Well, I'm, I'm glad I haven't done it. Paul Kayard did his lap around the planet. He says, I'm never going to do that again. But he made the cover in this country of Life magazine, One Man's Stirring Conquest of the Sea Around the World in Gypsy Moth. That's when he did the circumnavigation. Sir Francis's own story and pictures. And of course, that's what makes these things cool, is when people come back and write their book that captures the imagination, or does, this day and age, do a video. So Blake Middleton says, I raced in the Sir Francis Round Alameda race, which is here in the East Bay, and his laser several times. Yarvahe, he inspired so much.
Oh, and he did.
Indeed. I mean, I remember reading about him as a kid. I was in 66, 67. I was 12, 13. Cover of Life magazine in the U.S. And Julia, you'd think poorly of me.
Yes.
If I didn't.
I would.
Have
a video.
The culmination of an historic voyage takes place in London for Sir Francis Chichester as he leaves the tiny sailboat Gypsy Moth 4, in which he sailed around the world alone. En route to the Royal Naval College, in the familiar peaked cap and white silk shirt, he acknowledges a crowd estimated to be the largest since Lord Nelson was welcomed in 1801. In the first public ceremony in living memory, Queen Elizabeth knights Sir Francis with the same sword that the first Queen Elizabeth used to knight Sir Francis Drake in 1581 for his circumnavigation of the earth. Then, the insignia of the Knight Commander of the Order of the British Empire. Sir Francis Chichester and his Queen on their way to inspect the Gypsy Moth.
You got to admit the Brits do it right.
Oh, they do.
Huh?
Yes.
The same sword used by Queen Elizabeth I on Sir Francis Drake after his circumnavigation.
1815.
No, 15 something.
Oh.
Right?
I don't know.
Somebody will know the date, but that was...
15 was the last one.
It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Cool thing. Great stuff. Great story. Sir Francis Chichester, who sailed across the Atlantic and single-handed and broke the record on this day in history. America's Cup. We can't do a show, Julia, without talking about the American Cup boat race. And we have news from Bagnoli, which is the, look at this. We finally have a photo of the bases being built.
Wow.
That's the good news. This is from Il Mattino, the big national paper, and they are reporting that these bases and the construction thereof are being inspected by the government for anti-mafia inspections at the America's Cup construction sites.
Are they looking for what's anti-mafia?
Well, Naples is, I've got to be careful what I say here. They might come after me, but Naples is widely regarded to be run.
Oh, yes, I know.
By, you say it. You say it, and they'll come after you. Here's the word. The prefect of Naples, Michele De Bari, has issued a decree granting access to the construction sites in Bagnoli on Via Coroglio, where works connected to the 38th America's Cup, scheduled Naples a year from now, are underway. From the early hours of the morning, interagency units composed of state police, the Carabinieri, and the Guardia di Finanza, which is kind of like their IRS, also supported by naval units, have been carrying out inspections under the coordination of personnel from the operational center of the Naples Anti-Mafia Investigative Directive. Julia, we need at Beach Street Yacht Club and on Sailing Illustrated the Anti-Mafia Investigative Directive.
Oh, well, we'll
Directorate.
We'll have to recruit one.
The Anti-Mafia Investigative Directorate. As part of the anti-mafia inspection. We need an inspection group, too.
All right.
The checks ordered under the prefect's anti-mafia powers aim to verify the regularity of the contracted activities and to identify any economic entities of interest from an anti-mafia perspective.
Oh, that's what they're...
In particular, the inspections concern a company potentially relevant for anti-mafia purposes, regardless, some of this was probably lost in the translation, regarding which investigations are underway to determine its presence in the construction activities and the regularity of its relations connected to the ongoing works.
Oh, yes.
I can't read any more of this because it's too many words to get the message across. They're inspecting to see if the mafia are in there and trying to get
Contracts.
Well, get in on the action.
Yeah, right.
Get the DOJ to rubber stamp it. Yarfai is saying, Ed Worley, this cup keeps getting more and more complicated and more intrigued. Clark Chapin, gee, just because the waste disposal contractor is Tony Soprano. Yeah, that's what's going on. That's the big news story for the cup. It starts.
Well, I'm pleased that they're making progress.
Well, that's right. I think that's the good news, that there's some bases and some activity there.
Yeah.
It looks like they're making progress. But I got a very long email from Ed Worley, who has gone through and listed all the violations of the deed of gift by the Royal New Zealand Yacht Squadron, including, of course, ACP.
Yes.
Which, when I get around to studying it and then making it into slides so that we can present it on the show, I will do so. Maybe we have Ed on the show because he's done quite a lot of work investigating that. I, on the other hand, just simply say, and have been saying for nearly a year, there's a 6-point plan to rescue the cup. My simple 6-point plan. The bottom line is keep the AC rare, like the Olympics and the FIFA World Cup. Stop trying to make the AC into SailGP, let alone F1. Ours is a niche sport, and this America's Cup is a niche event that will never have mass appeal. As Ed Worley says, and lots of others say, read the deed and yes, respect it. And that clearly is not going on. The deed is not, in fact, Grant Dalton gave an interview some weeks ago saying, we know we have to amend the deed to make all this work. I mean, he's admitted, it's just a tacit admission. So,
I'm just contrasting that with the superiority of the British.
The Queen and the knighting and all. Yeah, well, the Brits, they run things according to the rules, and so do we here, right? Some people said New York Yacht Club waived the rules. Britannia ruled the waves, but I don't think so. I think, generally speaking, it's all been on the up and up. And as I've said before, the Royal New Zealand Yacht Squadron, by delegating, which is illegal under New York law, delegating their fiduciary duty, their responsibility as a trustee to a team, and having a team run the event, which is specifically prohibited by the deed of gift. I think the Attorney General in the state of New York is going to weigh in on this. We'll see. We'll see if and when. Margarita Marshall has got a YouTube video. I'm not going to click on the link, but thank you for that. But I'm going to do a little follow-up here in the last leg on the cup, because this about knocked me off my chair when I saw this. I found this video this morning, apropos the America's Cup, because it starts in a year, and they've just now announced their dates, and the format is confirmed. There's the match, the 10th to the 26th of July, 2027, showing the Defender against the Challenger. They're kind of starting ass backwards with this video. That's the opening slide in the video. The finals, the match, which of course is in July of 2027, right about now, a year from now. Then they go on to outline what's going to happen with the Challenger Selection Series. And for the first time in the history of the Cup, the Challenger Selection Series is going to have fleet racing. Fleet races, 22nd to the 23rd of May. Triple round robin. That's match racing. Then a repechage. So if you get knocked out, you can still come back in if you're fourth place. Then the semifinals, this is head-to-head match racing. And then the finals, and then back to the slide on the match. I can't believe this, that they're going to do fleet racing among AC-75s in the first couple days of the Challenger Selection Series. I just SMH, shake my head. Defender advantage is still built in. The Kiwis are light years ahead, in my opinion, on technology and how they're doing. Jody Shields, as the anti-muff inspector, I would hesitate at beer as payment. Peter Taylor, yawn. Greg Normand, a made for television super series that will never make the air. Greg's pretty clued in because he's been following the Attorney General. He's actually met with some people in the AG's office. And they got another comment here, this from Ed Worley, DBA Tracker 1265. Does Ben have until September 10th to formally declare the yacht to challenge? Yes, that's in the protocol. That's in the rules. He's got to declare his boat, and time is running out. Although it's interesting, they say it's bad enough that they're sharing all this technology between teams, which, you know, what's the then they're saying
that's half the point.
Margarita Marshall has reminded me that they're saying that we as a group now have to provide a boat for Ben. We've got to get together and figure out how to get, because it's no longer, you know, us, we, only our team. It's now a collective, a socialist America's Cup, if you will, where they're going to help a team that doesn't have a boat and help keep them in. I mean, this is just patently absurd. The Americans, who's sailing sweet? Welcome to the show. The Americans have a launch on August 7th, in Pensacola, presumably. Okay, so that's that video. And I just had to play that in the last leg because they're having fleet racing, leading to a match that starts a year from now. Greg Norman, Ed and Tom, a deadline for declaring your boat no longer exists if those running the ACP does not recognize the deed of gift. Well, stand by, as you know, Greg. Greg knows a lot about this. And I think there's a lot of, as we say in Michigan, there's a lot of damn that come over the water. Damn this, damn you. That's what's going to happen. There's some people that are going to be very surprised when some other shoes drop.
Yes.
If I may say. Julia, we're to your final and favorite segment, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Yes.
And we're very clean today.
Oh.
Normal people and sailors. The drinking show with a sailing habit. I know Jody will like this. Sailors are tough and strong, you know. They get back up off the ground and keep going, right?
Right.
Okay, I thought you'd like that. That came from Ed Worley.
He's got a lot of good stuff.
He does. He must have too much time on his hands, but
or good books.
He's got the biggest and best, I think, America's Cup book collection of anybody. He's got a huge collection.
Yes.
Speaking of Ed, he's saying, remember what Dennis Conner said, always bet on self-interest, and because that horse is always running. It was the rest of that quote.
Yeah.
And why would the other teams rescue Ben? It's beyond, it's FUBAR.
Yeah.
Beyond all recognition. Julia, here's one that's not so clean, but this reminds me of the America's Cup. Dude, I'm over here. It's the back and the front of the horse are out of sync, Julia.
Yes.
Greg Phillips sent that. Greg from Australia and the Gold Coast. And he sends some good ones. That's fairly clean, isn't it?
It's fairly clean.
That doesn't need a finger wag, I don't think. Or does it?
It depends if we have to eat or not.
Oh, Julia! That's terrible. That is terrible. That's on that note, we better wrap this
get
up.
Out of here.
We get out of here. Blake Middleton likes us to conclude with this.
Yes.
All the smartest people sail. He sent us into us. And then my beloved father, who's still alive and kicking and working all day, every day, says, sailing isn't for everybody, but it is for anybody. What did you just say about food? Julia, I can't. That gets a finger wag big time. Oh my goodness. Julia, you like to say, not about food.
Like, follow, and share. And if you don't know how to do that, Ask somebody.
Ask Clark Chapman, because he's already done it. He does it at the top
Yes,
of the show.
he's a champion.
And by the way, people can take the link to the show and share it to their own social media. They can share it to their Facebook page or to the, tell me what. That's a great shot of Tom Sr., Peter Taylor, saying thank you. I took that when I was back in Michigan. It's actually a screen grab from a video. Comments are welcome, even in replay. Sailing Illustrated is supported by our viewers. We would not have a studio if we didn't have Patreon and the patrons that support us via Patreon. And you can do that at patreon.com/join/Sailing Illustrated. Thanks to all of you for your support, growing support, in fact. Somebody said something about getting a jet for you, Julia.
Yeah. To join my sailboat?
No, you're going to fly the FOSI around the world to go to various
somebody
events.
just suggested that they provide a boat and a jet.
Well, that's even a better idea.
That's Blake.
Even a better idea. We want to thank those who gave us audio, video, and images for today's show, this long list again. Julia, final thoughts?
It's a wonderful sport.
So it's a fabulous sport, and isn't life great to be able to sit here and talk about it, have the internet or I think the computer crashed.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here on background trying to think what's different about this show than anything we've done. And there's nothing I can think of. But we'll figure it out, because we're going to be at this again live on Friday. We hope you can join us then. Next week, we got a show Tuesday, but none on the following Friday because we're doing Gov Cup. Hope you can join us for that as well. But in the meantime, have a great rest of your week. We'll see you on Friday. In the meantime, sail fast, sail safe, and have fun. Ciao for now.